Following the First World War, the Soviet Union moved to modernize its infantry with a new generation of fast-firing automatic weapons. But as they looked toward the future of mechanized warfare, their existing ammunition stood in the way of every mechanical advancement. In the 1920s, the Red Army's standard sidearm was the Nagant atom, but rimmed cases are a liability in a vertical spring-fed magazine. If the rim of one cartridge slips behind the rim of the round below it, the magazine jams, a failure known as rim lock. In the high-speed cycle of an automatic weapon, this is a catastrophic feeding issue. To fix this, the Soviet Artillery Committee issued a 1929 mandate for a new rimless alternative. They weren't looking for a slow, heavy-hitting round for self-defense. They demanded extreme muzzle velocity and the ability to punch through armor. The shift toward mechanized mobile combat meant the old ammunition had become a mechanical bottleneck. To field the automatic weapons the era required, the Soviets had to abandon their legacy ballistics and engineer a new standard. Fedor Tokarev, a veteran arms designer at the Tula arsenal, was tasked with building this new cartridge from a proven foundation. Tokarev selected the German 7.63 by 25 mm Mauser export round as his exact blueprint. It already utilized a rimless, bottlenecked brass case that allowed for exceptionally smooth feeding in semi-automatic and automatic actions. Tokarev strengthened the case walls and expanded the internal capacity for a much larger powder charge. He also reduced the neck diameter to exactly 7.62 mm. This ensured the round was distinct from foreign ammunition, allowing the Soviets to safely utilize higher pressure loadings. The resulting cartridge was more than a copy. It was an optimization. Fedor Tokarev had engineered the internal geometry specifically to endure the extreme cyclic stresses of a high-speed submachine gun. During the Second World War, the cartridge proved its worth as the primary power source for Soviet submachine guns, specifically the PPSS-41 and the PPSS-43, fired from these longer barrels. The 85-grain bullet reaches velocities up to 1,600 feet per second, nearly double the speed of contemporary Western pistol rounds. This velocity provides a very flat trajectory and exceptional penetration. For Soviet troops fighting in the urban ruins of the Eastern Front, it allowed them to engage targets through thick winter clothing and light cover. Feeding the war machine required a massive industrial expansion. Production shifted and scaled across state factories in Tula, Izhevsk, and Ulyanovsk. As the German invasion intensified, the Soviets streamlined their manufacturing to maintain volume. They swapped expensive brass for lacquered steel cases and moved to burden primers to keep the assembly lines moving under wartime pressure. By the end of the conflict, the 7.62 by 25 mm had become the standard for Soviet small arms firepower. Its unique combination of extreme speed and simplified mass scale production met the specific demands of the world's largest land war. By the early 1950s, the tactical landscape was changing. The introduction of the AK-47 assault rifle marked a total shift in Soviet military doctrine. The AK-47's intermediate rifle cartridge provided significantly more range and power than a pistol-caliber submachine gun could offer. As the rifle became standard issue, the Tokarev's role as a frontline infantry weapon was no longer necessary. For sidearms, the military now wanted compact frames and lower recoil for better control. This led to the 7.62x 25 mm being replaced by the 9 by 18 mm Makarov in 1951. Even so, the cartridge survived through global proliferation. It was licensed to Warsaw Pact allies and produced in China as the clone Type 51, where it powered insurgencies and proxy wars in Korea and Vietnam for decades. The Soviet Union's massive export of these weapon systems ensured that even as they moved toward modern rifles, The high-velocity Tokarev round remained a staple of global conflict well into the late 20th century. Today, following the end of the Cold War, millions of rounds of surplus Tokarev ammunition have reached the international civilian market, finding a new life with collectors and history enthusiasts. This creates a unique mechanical irony, because the Soviets prioritized velocity so heavily in 1930. The 7.62 by 25 mm now fits the profile of a modern personal defense weapon, or PDW cartridge. The physics are clear, while a wider 9 mm round is often caught by the woven layers of a Class II Kevlar vest. The high-speed Tokarev round punches through those same structural fibers, and it can even defeat some Kevlar helmets. This capability remains so unique that modern commercial manufacturers in Europe continue to produce new brass-cased versions of the round to meet steady demand. By optimizing for velocity to solve a mechanical feeding issue in 1930, Fedor Tokarev created a cartridge that remains capable of defeating modern body armor nearly 100 years later.